deep in the heart of Texas.
We're in the business of winning.
Don't bet against me.
I don't bet anyway.
Lose your life.
All right, everybody, I wanted to make one last video following up the video I made in the debate and the follow-up to the debate, because I'm just OCD like that and I've got some time on my hands today. But I wanted to go over these analytics one more time, right? One thing Johnny said that kind of didn't stick with me, but I was thinking about it, was he brought up block percentage rate, right? And so I just started thinking about all of these other analytics, right? So there's things like assist percentage, steal percentage, block percentage, all of these things, right? And again, I covered the main ones, right? Points, blocks, rebounds, assists, and steals per game, right? I covered those. So I did not think to go ahead and cover everything else, but we can do that, right? And also in the video, we mentioned that LeBron has a slightly higher field goal percentage and three-point percentage. So I didn't go any further than that, right? Because we just kind of gave that to LeBron. But I was sitting around, I thought, well, let's go ahead and tally it all up, right? So in terms of those main 5 categories that I just mentioned, Jordan 13 times led the league in any of those 5 categories. He another 21 times finished top 10 in any of those categories. LeBron twice led the league in any of those categories and had 30 total top 10 finishes in any of those categories. Technically this year right now, it would be 31 if we count his assists per game. He's 9th right now in assists per game. So that would be number 31. But even with that, that means on average, Jordan led the league more and finished in the top 10 more often per year than LeBron did, right? It essentially comes out to 1.5 times or 1.55 if you want to count this year for LeBron finishing in the top 10 compared to 1.6 for Jordan finishing in the top 10. And again, the reason why we do on average, right? There's so many categories that obviously LeBron playing more years, they begin to sort of compound on each other. So doing it per year, correct, would be a little bit more accurate, right? But we're going to go ahead and count. And so in terms of the other analytics, right, we did PER, win shares, offensive win shares, defensive win shares per 48, box plus minus, offensive box plus minus, defensive box plus minus, and value over replacement. Those are the analytics that we counted for any time that they led the league in those things or they were top 10 in those things, correct? So we're going to go ahead and add field goal percentage, effective field goal percentage, true shooting percentage. And again, these things, field goal percentage is an even playing field essentially, but effective and true shooting percentage is an advantage to LeBron, right? With just the styles that they play, the way the game has evolved, shooting more threes, taking more threes, and making more threes, right? That's an advantage to LeBron. We're going to give him those. So field goal, anytime they led or were top 10 in field goal percentage, true shooting, and effective. And then we're also, and again, neither of them ever got top 10 in 3-point percentage. And then we will do assist percentage, block percentage, steal percentage, usage rate, offensive and defensive rating. And let me make sure I'm not forgetting any. Okay, so those are the other ones we're gonna add in. So like rebounding percentage, neither of them got in. Block percentage, neither of them got top 10. So there's that. So I went ahead and tallied all these up, and for Jordan has another 34 times finishing in the top 10 in those categories. he also 8 times led the league in usage percentage. So that comes out to a total of 127 times he's been in the top 10, including all of those ones I mentioned in my video and in the debate, now including the ones I just mentioned earlier. And of course, adding the 8 times leading the league, in usage percentage is obviously still going to be more than LeBron. As I mentioned in that last video, LeBron 1 time led the league in assist percentage. He 1 time led the league in usage percentage. That comes out to 9.8 times per year he was top 10 in any of those analytics for 13 years. And if we look at LeBron, not counting this year, that brings the total amount of times LeBron got top 10 in any of those same categories to 171, which is 8.55. And even if I threw in 2-point field goal percentage for LeBron, it only brings it to a flat 9. So I just was being OCD about this, and I was wondering. So just to be official, right? In terms of the 5 main stats, Jordan led 13 times, right? Which is on average more than what LeBron led compared to his 2. The 21 times getting in the top 10 for those categories is on average better during his 13 years than what LeBron got in his 20 for the 30 times he was in the top 10. All of those, we looked at how many times they led the league. Jordan has more. We looked at how many times they finished in the top 10. On average, with all of those being said into one category, on average, Jordan comes out to 9.8. And with LeBron, he comes out to a flat 9. So I just wanted it to be official, right? In terms of the times they led the league or were top 10, right? Jordan is better in the total number of times leading the league for either one, for either subsect. And then in terms of averaging in the top 10, right? Because LeBron's played so much longer that, finishing in the top 10 begins to compound on each other when there's like 15 categories, right, for every year. But in terms of an average top 10 finish, Jordan is still better in all of those categories than LeBron. He hasn't finished in the top 10 as much, of course, right? But he's led the league more still in all of those categories combined. And he finishes an average, in terms of an average top 10 finish in all those categories, it's still higher than LeBron, correct? And even if we throw in this year, which would be 182, I suppose. But then again, we have to divide it by 21. So actually, that would hurt LeBron even more because you're only adding 2, really. None of the other categories he's top 10 in for this year, I don't believe. So this year, if we wanted to add this year, but again, we would divide by 21 instead of 20. So essentially, if LeBron doesn't get 9 top 10 finishes in all these categories, it'd be worse for him. Right now he is number 8 in PER. You can tack on offensive box plus minus, value over replacement, assist percentage. Yeah, so it wouldn't be in his best interest to count this year. So we'll just leave this year off. So Jordan again has a higher average, and again that top 10 average is only going to dip for LeBron unless he somehow pulls ahead and gets higher up in about 4 or 5 more categories. And then one last thing I said that was technically wrong, not in the debate, but in the video that I did following up the debate. I said that Jordan had only lost 1 playoff series once Scottie Pippen made an all-star team. Technically, if you count the year he came back from retirement, they did lose that series to the Orlando Magic. So that would technically be 2 if you want to hold that against him or use that one, which is fine, right? So you could count that one if you wanted to. I didn't say that in the video or in the debate. I said that in the follow-up video. So again, it's something I had heard or learned afterwards. And I was thinking about it today and the fact that technically he lost a playoff series when he came back in 95, right? So there's that too. So that's my video. That's essentially it. I just wanted to throw that out there, and just make sure we're on point, right? So, yep, that's my video. See you guys on the next one.